Наживо ли сме? Наживо сме, добре. Здравейте и добре дошли на първия ми YouTube стрим. Това не ми е първия лайвстрим изобщо, това е просто първия, който правим тук в YouTube. И аз само да... Мога ли да променя името на лайвстрима, докато стримвам? Я да видим. Май не. Окей. Това трябваше да го предвидя. Окей, променяме линка в постовете, защото това не е лайва, който бях насрочил. Нещо. Аз не можа да се оправя с това. Така. Това го изтриваме. И мисля, че сме готови. Така, това е една картина, която бяхме започнали още преди 2-3 седмици, може би. Всъщност я започнах още много по-отдавна. Като една скица. И предишните два пъти, когато рисувах от тази картина, беше в Twitch, като стримвах там преди да успея да си настроя профил в YouTube. Но сега искам да пробваме как ще стане стримването в YouTube, защото принципно там искам да стримвам най-вече. Moving the party to YouTube, I see. Yes, that's the plan. By the way, I was just mentioning that, but I had set up a live stream in the schedule for my YouTube channel, and then when I had to actually start the streaming with OBS, I had to make a new broadcast from OBS itself, which is this one, and it's different from the one that I had scheduled in the channel. So I don't know how that's gonna work out in the future, because I want it to be one and the same thing, Like when I schedule a broadcast in YouTube, I want it to be the same one that I'll be starting later in OBS. So I'll have to look into that since this is my first time actually streaming on YouTube with OBS. So I've already streamed on Facebook. I've I have done I think 2 live streams on Twitch, and yeah, now I have to figure out how that shit works on YouTube because apparently it's different in every platform. Then we'll see how many people will join us this time. Funny thing is, I think we had the most people on Facebook. It was you, Tel, and a few of my friends, and a few people that I don't know, a few strangers, and we'll see how many join here. Even if nobody comes, I mean, I'll be uploading the video on demand uh, when I get to it because I wanna upload all of the older streams first before I get to the new ones. So this one I'll probably be deleting once I'm done with it, and when I'm finished with the backlog I will be uploading this one as well. So until I upload all of the previous live streams, uh, the newer ones will be absent for a time from my channel. But hey, we'll see how this goes. I had to actually change the link to all my social media posts about the live stream because there I had put the other stream that like I couldn't connect the OBS broadcast options with the scheduled live stream on YouTube uh, because I had to kind of do it last minute, and I wasn't aware that you had to do any of that. But for next time, I will be prepared. So today we'll just be rendering out this painting. We'll see where it gets us, and I'll just be like going into autopilot and just rendering here and there, and we'll probably go on for about an hour since I have a bunch of stuff I need to do at home today, and it's Sunday and tomorrow we have to go to work, so I really don't have all the time in the world, unfortunately, to both live stream and do other important things around the house and work on my freelance projects, drawing and all that jazz. So I'll just be drawing and talking a bunch of bullshit, and hopefully some people join us so we can yap away together, and it might be fun. And if not, then the people will be able to watch this whenever I get to uploading it on my channel. Uh, Theo, if you're still here, how are you? How are things? Are you drawing? Are you making? Oh my god! I just realized that I'm I'm using the mic's microphone, and you're probably hearing that horrible buzzing sound from my laptop's fan, so I have to just plug in this bad boy real quick. If you can even hear me, because I'm not sure if the audio device is selected. Man, this would be really funny, wouldn't it? So we choose mic again and go to OBS default. Hello, hello, hello. No, it's still a camera microphone. Sorry about that. We'll fix it in a minute. How about now? Now? Okay. Okay, I think we're done. I can hear it good. Okay, it should be better now, with this mic. I completely forgot to plug it in before I started streaming because without it, OBS just detects better. Yeah, OBS detects the microphone from my camera, which is actually a pretty good camera, all things considered. But because it is sitting on top of my laptop, on top of the screen, it's actually catching the sound from the fan, and it is really unpleasant to hear. So yeah, okay, we fixed that. Back to drawing. Back to drawing and practicing my English. Because, I don't really get to speak it that much in my day-to-day life, since I am no longer teaching English since about 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And I usually speak in Bulgarian in these streams because most of my audience is Bulgarian. But uh, if I'm migrating to YouTube and I expect to catch a bigger audience, maybe I should be using my English more often, because the majority of people on YouTube don't speak Bulgarian, and those who do most likely also speak English. Така че да, ще използваме и български, и английски в този стрим. Не виждам. Where can I see how many people are watching? That is strange. Your English is exceptional, although most people should start learning Bulgarian by now. Well, thank you. I mean, it's serviceable. I think that if if I set my mind to it, on it, I would be able to pretty much fix my accent and improve the flow of speaking. But just I don't really practice it that much. Back when I was teaching English, I was speaking it every day. So, but it's gotten a little bit rusty during those 3 years that I'm out of the education system. I say this pretty much in every stream, but I should really get more serious about all of this stuff, because right now I'm treating it more like a hobby than something serious, and I actually have plans to expand my channel and my social media platforms. And I'm actually drawing every day. It's just that it's either a commission that I can't really show anybody until it's done because it's for a client, or I'm working on my personal projects that are not done yet, so I can't really show them either. I mean, I can. It's just that I don't have the habit of showing unfinished things like whips and WIPs and so on. And it's a good thing that I'm forcing myself to kind of speak about it and show unfinished stuff on my streams, because otherwise most of it will just stay in my folders and not see the light of day for years, maybe. Like this painting, which was just a really rough sketch at the beginning, like I think 3 weeks ago, before I started working on it live. And yeah, maybe I should do the same with some of my other unfinished stuff. I should be working on it live so that I can first force myself to actually work on those things instead of, starting something new or doing anything else when I'm not drawing. And also that way I can show it to more people. And it forces me to be more active on social media, which isn't really something that comes naturally to me. In fact, it is something that if I'm left to my own devices, I will avoid at all costs. So yeah, it's something that I have to force myself to do because it just doesn't come naturally to me, and it's a hard habit to form. Posting, engaging with an audience, making engaging content, all that stuff that you just have to do in our day and age if you want to make art seriously. How about you, Theo? You're drawing something lately? Hmm. Are you working on something? I also have lots of stuff, lost, have lost lots of stuff ideas, but real life distracts me. Then when I have the time, I forget about them. Yeah, I feel ya. And thing is, sometimes, unfortunately, you have to treat your dreams like work. Like, that's the sad fact about it, that sometimes you just want to relax, you want to unwind from all the other bullshit in life. And sometimes you have to, make a small personal sacrifice and just start working on your stuff. And I'm saying that as somebody who is still struggling with it. I'm not trying to teach people how to work on their dreams, because I'm not really a good example of it. There are lots of unfinished files, lots of unfinished dreams in my catalog that I'm guilty about it. I'm guilty that I don't really treat them seriously enough. Lots of people are like that, and hopefully we manage to beat the temptation to to go the easy way and rest and recuperate instead of working on your dreams when you have the time. That's just how life is. Gotta start drawing again. It's been almost 2 months. I feel it, man. I mean, being there. Sometimes you just go through these periods where you have neither the energy nor the desire to make art. But there is some consolation to know that it's not just you. Lots of people have that problem, and some of my other friends who are also artists have also shared with me that, I mean, they've been through these slumps where you barely do anything for a really long time, sometimes weeks, months, a year or two. It's kind of embarrassing to admit it, you know. I'm an artist, but I haven't picked up a pen in a few months, you know. It's almost shameful to admit that, but it happens. Those are the moments where you have to treat art as a job, even if it's not your job, even if you're not getting paid for it. You gotta treat it as something like you just gotta do, but not because somebody else is forcing you to, but because to you want to get it done, even if it's not pleasant, even if you have lost that magic that you had in the past, where you know you have this immense drive to just hop on your laptop or your graphic tablet or wherever you make your art and just draw or and paint or whatever it is that you do all day, and it's extremely pleasant and you're doing such a good job at it. You're getting better, you're making you know, your best work, and each time you sort of improve upon the previous piece. And I'm sad to say that with time I feel like these moments are getting very few and far between, because even now, like I don't have this immense urge to draw. Like I think this is coming out as a really cool painting, but uh, what I feel about it isn't the same. Uh, is not the same feeling that I had for my paintings, say 5 or 6 years ago. You know, I don't know if it is because of age or because when you improve, actually your taste improves faster than your skills. So you're always more critical of your work than you were before, and you find more mistakes, and therefore you know you can't quite catch up to your taste because it improves faster than your skills do. So you're kind of always overly critical of your work, even if it is better than what you did before. It's just you know you can't change it. You just you're seeing all the mistakes, you're seeing all the ways that it could be improved, and that's all you can think about, and you don't really have that childlike joy that you felt about your work when you were younger. At least that's how I see it, how I experienced the whole thing. Also, the AI stuff is kind of discouraging. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, I try not to think about it. I try to, pardon me, I try to think of it as okay, I mean, this happens, but it doesn't really concern me because I'm not gonna use it. I'm just gonna continue doing things my way, the way I've always done. But then you have to admit that it is having an effect on the market, especially if you want to make art for a living, or even not just for a living, but you want to make some money from art. Now you have to think about, what if the client decides to just take the cheaper way out and use AI instead of someone like me, and that's a very discouraging thought, especially since you have those people saying, well, why do art? Why be an artist when the machine can do it faster and better? And I'm sorry for saying that. Why have sex with your wife if the AI can do it faster and better? That's the only answer I can think of. It is infuriating and it is discouraging a bit, but still you gotta remember that uh, what you can do, nobody else can do. Every brushstroke that you place on the canvas is unique and one that can only happen once, and it can only happen from your hand. And that's something that nobody will ever be able to take away. And that's a fact. That's not idealism, that's not coping, that's just how things are. I mean, I try not to even think about, AI, since I'm not using it. I have friends who are using it for, their own projects because they can draw, and uh, they not can't always hire an artist, and I understand that and I sympathize. And if money wasn't an issue, I wouldn't care at all. But the fact is, yes, it is having an effect on the marketability of artists, and you see all of these really brilliant painters and sculptors and digital artists and traditional artists on Instagram making these purely idiotic reels to sort of work the algorithm so that more people can see their work, and they're humiliating themselves, making absolute drivel. I'm not talking about their art. Their art is brilliant, is fantastic, but they're making these social media algorithm tailored little reels and shorts that are like, oh, the algorithm thought that you might like my art, and you have some stupid little drawing there of a little guy saying, maybe you will like my art because the algorithm said so. And after that they actually show you their art, but that whole hook, that whole thing that they're forced to make so that they can catch your attention and other people's attention. And I mean, it's a humiliation ritual, basically. It's awful. It's really bad taste. I mean, if it comes to me, when it comes to me, I already follow a bunch of fantastic artists, and I'm finding more like them every day. I don't really need for them to make uh, these silly little reels so they can catch my attention. It is enough that they post their work and maybe talk about it. But I mean, this is just, it's awful. It's not funny. It's something that they're forced to make, which makes it even worse. I don't know, like, if I'm explaining it uh, if, I'm explaining it in a way that you can. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't want to make a cringe anime avatar that talks. Yeah, that's precisely the kind of thing that I mean. It's just those silly, low effort bullshit hooks. And I mean hook as in something that is supposed to catch the attention of somebody who's doom scrolling. You're scrolling because you have nothing else to do, and your dopamine receptors are fried, and you see, that silly little guy saying, "Oh, the algorithm showed you my post, so that means you might like my art." And that is before they show you the actual art, which might be fantastic, but the boring, low effort, uh, sort of algorithm tailored bullshit that appears before that actually makes it so that they don't actually like their actual art. You know, it's just silly. It's like imagine if Craig Mullins, if you know who that is, one of the best digital artists and probably the first digital artist ever. Imagine if he had to make like these reels on Instagram so that somebody can see his work and hire him to work on a movie or a video game. And it's saying, "Oh, hello, my name is Craig Mullins, and Instagram thought that you might like my art. Maybe hire me to work on your movie." And just such a humiliation, such an embarrassing thing to do. Or that other trend where they're showing like a canvas, but they're showing you the opposite side of it, and there's a writing on it, something like uh, day 300 of showing my art until it reaches the correct people, and they slowly turn the canvas so that you can see their painting, and that whole thing is, again, to sort of make you stop scrolling and look at their work and maybe follow their profile. And again, I understand that they're forced to do that because otherwise uh, the algorithm will obliterate their reach. But it's such a silly thing to do, man. It's such an awful, like, it's just awful. I don't know if anybody else thinks like that, but yeah. Craig Mullins, no, Craig Mullins. I think it was with a U, like that. He's, I think, one of the first digital artists ever because he was a painter, a traditional painter, and he actually, I'm kind of speaking out of the top of my head right now, but uh, he sort of worked with or had some association with the people who made Photoshop. And in the beginning, he painted with a mouse, and he has a bunch of these wonderful digital paintings made with a mouse because there were no graphic tablets back then. That was, I think, the mid or late 90s. And later on, he went on to become actually one of the top concept artists in the industry. He's made concept art for lots of famous movies and video games, and I think he's still active actually. But yeah, imagine if he lived right now. I mean, he's still alive right now. What am I talking about? If he was making his breakthrough right now and he had to make these silly little reels on Instagram to just catch the attention of people who need an artist, that. Oh yeah, Age of Empires background illustrations. Yes, I think those are by him. Yeah, I'm certain he worked on Age of Empires 3. Not sure about the other ones, but I mean, probably it's him. Yeah. So yeah, rant over. Let's go back to drawing. And again, I'm not judging people who are joining these trends so that they can reach more people and have more clients, get more money making art, chase their dreams, have the life that they want to live and not the life that they have to live. But it's such an awful thing that to have to do. And it's insincere. It's just, I mean, everything on social media is insincere, but this is one of the worst things, in my opinion. What would happen if I share the link to the live again? Ah, okay, found it. So currently two people are watching, and I feel like one of them is me. Ooh, we have a question. What inspired you for the character design of the green aliens from Federation? I mean, nothing in particular, really. They're just a design that I came up with because I wanted to start working on the comic as soon as possible because it's an idea that I had been putting off for too long, and they're kind of, humanoid, but not quite aliens. I mean, their teeth are kind of like the teeth of these Chinese dragons from Chinese mythology. I'm not saying that this was the main inspiration for them necessarily, but yeah, specifically the teeth. I was wondering what they should look like, but because they shouldn't look like human teeth, and I sort of came up with this hooked kind of twisted look that they have. But as a whole, they're just these bulky humanoid creatures with three fingers on each hand, and they have four nostrils, and their heads are sort of like, no, kind of humanoid again, but without ears and nose, and kind of frog-like also. But again, I wasn't looking at anything in particular while designing them. To be honest, it wasn't. The design process wasn't very elaborate. They just needed a design for some kind of aliens that I can use because they won't be a main player in the next installments of the should I call it a comic or graphic novel? I don't know because let's say graphic novel because the second issue will be kind of longer. But yeah. Okay, let's continue here. Oh, I have. Why do I have these notifications on? Anyway, I'm gonna clean up these parts of the ship because they are kind of rough. Is Max Rebo going to appear in your next comic? I'm afraid I don't have the rights to use Max Rebo. Such a iconic character. But if I did have the rights to him, yes. Maybe in the background, playing the drums. By the way, I don't know if Max is alive currently in Star Wars because last we saw him, he was in the Book of Boba Fett TV show, and he was at the bar on that planet, and the bar was actually spoilers, but the bar was blown up. I don't know if Max was inside during the attack. Hopefully not. Hopefully he was taking a day off. He was maybe somewhere else. Let's hope so. I have to check with Wikipedia. I have to know, is Max alive or not? Because if they killed him off screen, that would be even worse than the time they killed Admiral Akbar uh, off screen. That was a real betrayal. But this would be even worse. Killing fan favorite Max Rebo off screen in one of the worst shows in Star Wars history. Man, I watched the Mandalorian Grogu movie with my brother at the cinema last month and it was underwhelming. Was it? I haven't seen it yet. I don't know. I wasn't sure if I actually want to see it at the cinema. I mean, too bad that it was underwhelming. I don't know anything about the movie except that it's basically a long episode of the show, and there is uh, Java's son in it, Rota the Hutt, who was actually first introduced in the Clone Wars TV show, the movie, in the movie The Clone Wars, the show, the movie, from 2008. And there he was a baby, and now he's a grown ass man. He's grown ass Hutt. Was he cool at least? Rota the Hutt, Jabba's son. Did he have any cool scenes? Did he have any, character moments? I mean, I'll probably watch it out of curiosity. I don't have really high hopes for the movie, but I am curious at the least. So I'll probably watch it just to see what they have done with Jabba the Hutt's child and to see if there's anything else interesting in it. I don't expect to be blown away by the plot or the characterization, but it might be the type of Star Wars movie that you want to watch just to get your dose of Star Wars, and you've already seen all of the good Star Wars content hundreds of times. So I don't know. So yeah, did they Did they do him justice, please? Did they do something interesting with Rota the Hut? We need a little bit of glow here. There you go. So this is from now, this was from last time. Not a lot of difference, but that's how it is when you're nearing the completion of an illustration. The differences become smaller and smaller. Oops. In the hard brush. Okay, I think the painting is nearing completion, but for now I think we'll call it a day and maybe continue it next time. I think we're very close to finishing it, but more and more as I work on it, I find little things that need fixing and need improvement. So in order for us to finish it properly, I'll have to probably work on it a bit more. But yeah, overall, I think it's fine painting. It's really something that I initially sketched really quickly, and just wanted to, make a quick painting with spaceships and some space combat and space in general. And I think for its purpose, it is a very fine, serviceable, alright painting. But I have some other things to do, so this live stream will be a bit short, just over an hour. And thank you to everybody who joined. And we'll see you again next week, God willing, at the same time, Saturday, 6 p.m. 6 p.m. that is Eastern European time, I think. Yeah. And yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, and see you next time. Bye bye.